87. Let's get
87.
with it. I am your host, Danny Ocean, as always, bringing us the smoothest tunes on the planet Losty Mix. What are we listening to tonight?
Right here, this is a new record by one of my favorite artists ever, Party Next Door. Uh, y'all want to talk about this song for a minute, if you don't mind, before we really get into this.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna start by just reading like a few bars to tell you because Party Next Door come from the OVO camp. He'll what I'm saying, but he's an incredible songwriter, incredible songwriter. Like, he wrote "Work" for Rihanna
Yeah.
and Drake. He wrote "Drunken Love." So I say all that to say, when it comes to his penmanship, Party Next Door is to be respected, right?
Right.
All right. So he starts this. Tell me if this is hate or not. I just want to know if this is hate or not.
Okay.
He starts this song off by saying, "F all my girls' old friends. Y'all let that girl F anybody." Is that hate? Is that hate?
A little bit.
Then he doubled back with it. He said, "Yeah, y'all let that girl F anybody. She out here catching everybody. Told her not to lean on anybody. Told her not to be seen with anybody. It's going to be so hard to claim back that body." What? Yo, musical artists are the funniest, for one.
They are the
Two,
most pettiest.
who are you talking about, my friend? Like, because this is like this was like, when I heard this, I said, "Oh no, this is mad specific." Like, how did you talking about somebody? Then he doubled back, and he not doubled back. He came out and tweeted, "I'm not doing any interviews. This is just my life." So he's talking about somebody.
Yes.
Now I want to know who he talking about, because you know what that sound like? This sound like when your ex got a new, and he kind of corny, and you like, "Oh really? That's who you gonna date after me?" Now you hating. Now I'm not saying like I'm speaking from like experience, but I'm speaking from experience. And I just feel like sometimes if you're really not out here trying to one up your ex in the game of life, then what are you doing? What are
You're
you
living.
you,
You can't wrap your life around your
nah,
ex.
that's not necessarily wrapping your life around it, but but sometimes when you, because really what it's for is like when you accomplish something, you always got to feel good about yourself. Yeah, I did this shit. And then what is the second thing, or the second or third thing, every person that wins or is successful about something, they always go back to? Everybody who did not believe in them.
That's true.
Fam, that's like everybody. Fam, we all know it. If your sports team wins a championship this year, the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year, they definitely, one of the first 5 quotes are going to be like, "Yeah, we heard the noise. We heard the noise. It didn't mean nothing." What did Brian say when he won his last championship? GD Bus won her respect. AD won his respect. Palinka won his respect. I want my damn respect too. What is
he respects none of it.
I heard I've been talking. They say he ain't gonna do it. He ain't win one championship. He's done. He out here putting people to sleep out here. Like, you look, I think it's human nature, because it's almost like, oh, you thought I wasn't gonna amount to shit. All right. That's why rappers always talking about the 1 or 2 teachers that said they weren't gonna be shit. It was like, well, dog, yeah, I mean, yeah, you weren't gonna be shit because you was in the back of the class trying to sell weed. We trying to learn geometry. But yeah, I hear you. So the other thing I wanted to say about this song, Meek Mill, next time you think about tweeting, please read the room.
No.
Read the room. Because he tweeted out lyrics from this very song, but it was minutes. Nah, maybe it was like an hour after Lori Harvey and Franklin Saint had posted their pictures together. And my man Meek already got the bars that said he got with Lori Harvey on his wish list.
Dog, Meek Mill is a top 5 tweeter. Hilarious.
Top 5 tweeter, instantly hilarious, and a lot of people don't really recognize or appreciate his comedy. I do. The French fries in the pool, I'm weak, yo. I think that's some funny shit, yo. Listen, Meek Mill. Listen, Meek, I hope you, like, when this rap shit and this entrepreneurial shit and this boss your life up, invest shit that you want, and salute to you, by the way, Meek. When all this is done, my brother, you have such a career in content creation that I don't even think you realize it.
That
Like,
he doesn't realize.
like you are hilarious, Meek Mill. You are. Shout out to Party Next Door. I like this song. I heard it. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard it because these are some of the bars that Party normally gets. So I hear this. I'm like, yeah, I like this. And the next thing I said was, we need a new album because we didn't get a Party Next Door album last year. Maybe this is the reason why. Maybe the reason why he talked about it up in here. Because it sounded like, listen, what it sound like, because these are, and this is ritual business. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. What it sound like is another rich dude that he know. Now I mean with his girl.
Well, then that is not his girl. It's Mean's girl.
But he said right here, told her not to be seen with anybody. It's gonna be hard to claim back that body. Then, well, his next bars were when I want it. Oh, whoa, whoa. Then, oh, nah. Now he hating because now I'm gonna break these lyrics down a little bit more.
Okay.
Because he really hating now. Yeah, I think he's saying I was going to. Yeah, I was going to take her out to the game. Mm-hmm. Who's the fucking blame? What's my fucking name? Y'all was her role models. Only let her do wrongs on my name. I hate. Nah, this is hate. Listen to this. I hate when a cute girl see a bad bitch and try to get a bad bitch to do average shit. Is this what I hate?
So if I'm hearing this correctly, he is saying that her girlfriends condoned her cheating on him and did not say anything. Why did you let? Okay. That is tough.
Not Matthew. Danny. I'm sorry to say your government.
It's okay.
Danny. In a hypothetical world, in a hypothetical situation,
yes.
And where and why would your girl's friends tell you about her cheating, one, or two, try to talk her out of cheating if clearly she is out to cheat?
Yes. Either A, her girlfriends want you, or B, her girlfriends don't like you.
What's worse, when the girlfriends want you or they don't like you?
Ooh. I'll say when they like you. I'll tell a quick story. When me and my wife started dating, her best friend did not like me, and I really didn't like her. Like there was some friction there.
Like Pam and Martin type.
No. Like we didn't talk to each other. Like it was like hello, and like that was it.
I think that's not regular.
No, like there was some friction there, but like you could feel the friction.
Okay.
Yeah, like at least Pam and Martin would like joke off each other, but no, they're like we wouldn't say. But now we're cool. Like now they're cool. Like it's all good. But in the very beginning, so I would say it's worse if the girlfriends like you compared to if I feel like it's easier to get over if they don't like you, because if you treat her right over the course of time, they will appreciate the fact. I mean, if they're her real friend, like, hey, my girl got a good man, I can respect that compared to I'm lusting after my girl's man. I'm going to try to get him caught up.
Yo, okay. Listen, I hear what you're saying because when her friends are lusting after you, you are put in a situation that like, I think as men, you don't even know how to begin to approach that. Like, first off, if you're a stand-up dude, you definitely curving the friend.
Yes.
You definitely looking at your girl like, yo, shorty, what type of freaks? What type of freaks do you hang with? Because but I honestly think it's worse when the friends don't like you.
Really?
Because now this may be my conniving brain. In my mind, if the friends don't like you, then there's nothing you can really do to really fix that. And really, when they don't like you, any advice, anything that they say, I feel like it's always coming from an anti-you point of view. At least when they lusting after you, the point of view is going to be it might be coming from a nasty, horny place. The intention's not going to be nasty. They
Really?
don't.
Because I would think if you're lusting after me, if her friends are lusting after me, she is going to do her best to break us up faster than someone who doesn't like me, right? If she doesn't like me, but I respect her friend and everything's going good, yeah, she could say bad stuff about me, but her friend can say, but he treats me right. She lusting after me. It don't matter what you do. She gonna be like, nah, he ain't. He covering something up.
Nah, because see, why you got to be covering something up? See, what we underestimate though in your scenario is what if instead of trying to break you up, the friend really is trying to get on for the night? And I mean, not with just you. I'm talking about she's trying to make threes a company.
Then here's my thing to that. Fellas, do not ask her that question. That needs to come from her.
Listen, I'm gonna
Listen,
take it a step further, fellas. Don't have threesomes with your girl.
hello,
Quickest way to ruin a relationship.
hello.
Break a threesome with the fam. And I don't want to make this seem like this is only a two girls, one guy. I'm talking. Don't do a threesome with another dude with your girl,
Nope,
because
nope.
God, I got questions for that as like a man. But like from a relationship standpoint, fam, don't do a relationship. I mean, don't do a threesome with another dude with your girl, because if other dude got bigger meat than you are gonna feel some type of way when your queen is just taking these back shots the way she takes.
This is the third week in the row we snuck back shots in some form or fashion.
and and fellas, also don't do a threesome with your girl's friend and her, because listen, in no world, fam, you got to act like you don't want the other girl more than your friend,
Exactly,
like more than
exactly.
your girl, and then what if she got the fire? Now you got to sit there and act like you don't want to, because then she
Listen, a threesome
listen.
has never fixed a relationship.
It's never fixed a relationship. And my advice to you fellas out here, if you're trying to have a threesome, don't do it with your girl.
No.
So I'm not saying don't do it with your girl. Take that however you want to take it, but don't do it with your girl. And also, as Charles Barkley once said, if you're going to commit crimes, don't do it with chest as well. And listen, I'm not trying to joke too much, but if you're gonna commit crimes over women that curved you, please don't run and tell the police exactly who gave the killer the gun. Because that ain't
Hey,
helping.
that might be the saddest story of the week. Oh my
Yo,
god.
first off, a lot of condolences for the young lady that lost her life. Really.
Like that's such a sad story, man.
But listen, you new age criminals,
Or stupid.
dumb. At least the criminals from the heyday, from my parents' generation, they just didn't tell. At least not the way y'all be telling. And they don't do shit in broad day the way y'all be doing shit in broad day. And the reason that
Well,
some of y'all are committing these crimes, I'm gonna be honest with you. Back in the day, a lot of the times, some of these crimes were committed because of drugs, some other aspects. Some of y'all are just losers committing crimes to try to be cool when it's okay to be a smart person that don't commit no crimes. I'm one
we
of them.
you know what's crazy though, and then we'll get to the docket in a second. I feel like back in the day they did commit crimes at this rate. It's just the news didn't get out, and the reach wasn't as far, and there weren't as many tools to capture people as there was, in the 70s. I'm sure in the 70s someone got shot in the middle of broad daylight, and it shook some small town to its core, but the nation never knew. Now, like, it doesn't matter where you are in the world or in the country. Like if something tragic happens, like we're going to hear about it.
Yeah, and I think there's a double-edged sword to what you're saying about the nation not knowing. See, I think on one edge, when some of these instances or some of these events are so locally kept, the chances of imitation, of people trying to one up it, it's very, very small. You can't know, how do I say this? It's hard to emulate some heinous activity. Like I feel like nowadays a lot of heinous or nasty acts are so flustered in people's face so often
Yeah.
that it leaves this imitation, one-up gamesmanship, which is why I personally think has led to a lot of some of the gun violence that's happened. On the flip side, one could say that some of the injustices that have been able to been solved in the last 20 or so years may not have happened 20 or so years prior because of the invention of social media, because of the invention of the cell phone, being able to record
Yeah.
something that's happening, upload it to the world, and get a rallying cry around it. Now, I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Now, where do I fall on this? Yo, if one of these days somebody woke up and said, "Internet, we're going to unplug you and we're just going to shut this thing down," I am not going to complain. I'm not going to let y'all, I'm not going to flex about it. I'm not going to complain at all. Because some days I really get on the internet and say, we do not need this shit. Because some of y'all out here, listen, I remember what some of y'all was doing in them Twitter fleets. I remember what some of y'all was posting in them Twitter fleets. And you're criminal. You deserve to go to jail. And Elon, don't ever bring them shits back.
No, please God.
Because what they was posting in them Twitter, which is why I'm glad Instagram just do the little notes. I can do the notes.
Yeah, the notes are great.
But what Twitter was doing with them fleets,
No. Send it to hell.
send it to hell. Danny, tell us where the podcast is brought to the people by, and let's get into this thing, man.
So the show is brought to you by goingfor2.com. I know for a lot of folks, especially those in dynasty leagues or any kind of league, head over to goingfor2.com. We do have a special right now where and Kyle, I forgot how much it cost, but if you could put that, I will read it off because you are research and we appreciate you. But each year, if you pay a price, someone from the Going for Two family will look at everyone's dynasty league and kind of give them a synopsis of which team, how you can improve, and just kind of gives like a personalized experience to those for the Dynasty League. But again, head over to goingfor2.com. Basketball season's here. Baseball is about to get started. I think spring training is 6 weeks away.
Getting close.
It's getting close. So again, goingfor2.com. There's content all year round for any kind of fantasy that you're in. D tonight, it's all about football. We're going to talk about Wild Card Weekend. We're going to preview the divisional round. We've got some quick hitters. We're going to talk a little WNBA. If we have time, we might sneak in a little thing that you did. You ranked the top, was it 27 albums of 2022?
Yeah, every year, towards the end of the year, I make my yearly top 27 albums of the year. Took a little bit later this year, but I managed to wrap it up last year. So if we got some time, I'll take the people through a few notable ones. And I also think this year we'll talk about it later, but I think I'm going to change up the format this year when I do it. We'll talk about
Okay. I'd love to go over that. So we're going to get started with Wild Card Weekend. For those of you who don't know, Wild Card Weekend this past weekend was absolutely bananas. Super Wild Card Weekend, drugged up Wild Card Weekend. The Bills outlast the Dolphins in a game that was tougher than it needed to be. The Bengals beat the Ravens with the longest fumble recovery in history, in franchise history. Excuse me. That man looked like he was going to die at the 30. I was praying for him that he made it to the finish line. The Chargers were the Chargers, and they had the third biggest comeback in NFL history in the postseason, and they lost to the Jaguars, of course. The Giants outlast the Vikings. That was a lot of people's upset of the week. Everyone thought the Vikings were frauds, and yes, they are. The 49ers, the first half of that game was very interesting. And then all of a sudden the 49ers remembered that they were the 49ers and they dominated the Seahawks. And then last night, Tom Brady got his ass whooped on MLK Day as a lot of Americans, as he looked down from heaven and said, yes, thank you, Dak. Finally. They lost 31-14 on Monday Night Football. D, 2 questions for you.
Talk to me.
What's your biggest storyline coming out of Wild Card Weekend, and what was your game of the week?
All right. All right. Biggest storyline for me coming out of Super Wild Card Weekend. Baltimore Ravens. I cannot stress this enough to you. If you let number 8 walk away because you don't want to give him guaranteed dollars after you watch that game on Sunday, I'm going to let y'all know right now, you deserve whatever hell is coming that franchise's way. If that happens. Now, also building off of that, if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, I'm gonna tell you one person that you could maybe be upset with for maybe the next week. Respectfully, don't say nothing bad about him or to him. But Tyler Huntley, dog. Listen. When you watch the game, you would thought, oh man, they ran a QB sneak. It just got knocked out of his hands. Damn, that's a shame. Bengals won. It's after the game when John Harbaugh comes out and says, yeah, that QB sneak, he was supposed to go under. He went over. Yeah. And then J.K. Dobbins comes out and says, nah, I'm actually tired of not even getting the ball in that situation. Like, and if we would have had number 8, we would have won.
That was the one for me.
So now what I'm hearing here is, Tyler Huntley, you pissed off a whole locker room because there was 52 men in that room who thought they were about to be playing next week. And the 53rd man in the last minute of the game said, hey, big dog, I got Cancun trips next week. What it is.
You know.
Fam, I was so sick for the Ravens because Bengals won the game, but they didn't beat the Ravens. If that makes sense. The Bengals won that game, and they are moving on to face a really good Buffalo team. But I cannot come away from that game saying, y'all beat the Ravens. It wasn't like 7 days ago, which is funny. Same game, same teams, 7 days apart.
Same location.
7 days ago, that was an ass kicking. And I said, okay, we run that back? All right. Sunday, dog, I got to about midway through the fourth, and I said, yo, the Ravens can win this game. Like, the Ravens, when it was down there, I said, no, they're about to take the lead, and all they got to do, 4 stops, they're heading to Buffalo. Let's get it. Oh, Tyler Huntley.
Oh, they'd have went to Kansas City, right? They were the lowest.
Oh, yeah, they would.
They'd be going to Kansas City.
Yeah. See why you can't count your chickens before they hatch?
Nope.
And see why you got to, fam, why would you go over the line at the 2-yard line?
Like, do you know how high you have to jump and how far? Like, 2 yards doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have to jump over the offensive line, the defensive line, and you're going to meet a linebacker in midair, like, do you know how much force you have to generate?
And if going rogue was your option, why didn't you just pull it and keep it? Like, take off.
Yeah.
Make it a race to the pylon. Yeah.
Like, you're not big enough to be jumping over. Like, you're not Jalen Hurts. You're not big enough for that.
If you're in the Baltimore locker room, how are you feeling? Offense and defense. There are 10 other people on offense who are saying, yo, I didn't really I played good enough for us to win this game.
Yeah. If I'm in the Baltimore locker room, I'm mad at Lamar Jackson, but I'm not mad at Lamar Jackson, if that makes sense. Like, I get the business decision, and maybe his knee isn't stable. I find that hard to believe. I'm not saying Lamar is a liar, but no one knew what was wrong with his knee until he posted it a week ago. And if it was that bad, I feel like it would be easier for John Harbaugh to say, hey, it's a grade 2. It's almost a grade 3 sprain. He's out indefinitely. End of story. Like, John kept ringing it on. I don't know. Maybe he'll be ready next week. Maybe he'll be ready next week. Maybe he'll be ready next week. I don't know what's wrong with his knee. And then Lamar posted the injury. Like, what was so hard about John going to the podium and saying that instead of, I don't know what's going on?
Well, I think part of me thinks that Lamar hasn't been with the team for a while or since his injuries. Like, he's probably been away, probably been nursing the injury. So I feel like Lamar's camp was probably real close to the chest with some of it. Probably because they know he's a free agent and what's at stake. And so they think, obviously, actually, the more I think about it, they know he's going to be a free agent. They know what type of money he's going to try to command. It's knee injury. So if it's bad, you're already looking at a lengthy absence. I think for Lamar's camp, they were probably trying to keep it close to vets because they're probably thinking, yo, if by chance the Ravens really, and you got to think they had stopped the negotiating too. So because he said he wanted to stop it when the season started. So Lamar's they were probably thinking, yo, if the Ravens really don't come back talking the way we was talking, we have to put ourselves in a position where we don't want to lose ourselves some money because of this injury. Let's try to play this close to the vest and hope that it gets better And then, if you go out there in the postseason, have a game before a postseason run, try to win a championship, go on a run, maybe get your money that way. I could see that. So I guess with that same thing, I hope his agent probably sat him down and said,
He's his own agent. Remember, he didn't have an agent. He's his own agent.
so he probably his close group somebody in his close group probably looked at him and said, "Yo, remember a guy named RG3?
Yes.
He probably would have been making your version of money, like his version of your money back in his day, had somebody told him, don't risk it." I'm with Lamar. Listen,
yeah, hell yeah.
had they paid the man earlier in the season, I guarantee you he would have limped his ass out there.
Yes, or he would have given it a go. He would have tried.
Yeah. But do you expect someone who's looking for what, 45 to 50 mil a year and north of that, most of it guaranteed? Nah, he gonna make y'all listen. And I feel like if you know Lamar, like, you gotta think this guy, listen, it's not like he came to the season not wanting to play. He'd been playing since week 1 and got hurt. And when he got hurt is when he started taking care of himself, because that's the position that he was in. But don't get it twisted. He was there for his team. Yeah. And they don't even get into a position to make anybody's playoffs had he not been there for them games that he was there. So I feel like if you're in that locker room, yeah, you upset that y'all ain't got a chance to go win a Super Bowl. But, dog, look at this roster and tell me, with some of these injuries, did you think this was the year y'all was really going to win it?
Hey, dog. Your top receivers, Rashad Bateman.
Defensively, they're there.
Yes.
Defensively, they're there. Offensively, even with Lamar, you need better.
They need a lot of help. Hello, DeAndre Hopkins. You're a Baltimore Raven.
I thought he'd look better in some green and gold. What's your biggest story? Oh, my game of the week. I forgot that one. Game of the week. Listen, I know everyone's expecting me to say the Chargers and the Jags. No, I thoroughly enjoyed the Vikings and the Giants. I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. Not because the Vikings are who we thought they were, but it was finally, it took me back to a pod you and I had in the offseason last year when I sat here, right here in the same chair, and I told you the New York Football Giants are not as bad as they are. You can only be bad for so long before the NFL forces you to at least be good for a year, at least a year. They had a soft schedule. They got Saquon finally back and healthy. Yo, shout out to Saquon Barkley. Shout out to Daniel Jones. Y'all did y'all's things coming out for the postseason. And both of you are putting your franchise in a situation where they're going to figure out a way to pay both of y'all, especially you, Danny Dimes. Listen, fam, do you remember how the Giants fans were spitting on my man Danny Dimes? And I kept saying, the dude can play. The dude can. He not bad. Yeah, he got some fumbling issues, but he not terrible. That joke about the Danny Dimes is about to be making, if he's not franchise, he's gonna be making probably like
47 at least.
40 to 45, 47 a year. Man, he didn't earn it too.
All it takes is one decent year.
And my hot take is Daniel Jones, top 6 dual threat quarterbacks in the league right now. The numbers is there.
I like the dual threat disclaimer because that's about it.
Oh, where else did you think I was going with that?
I don't know. Yeah, that dual threat is holding that sentence together for dear life.
Josh Allen, Kyler, Justin Fields,
Jalen
Hurts. My bad. Excuse me, Jalen.
That's it.
Daniel Jones.
I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else? No. Maybe Trey Lance if we ever see Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. I hope your agent is on the phone with 31 other football teams. You are never seeing. You are never starting for that franchise. Not as long as Brock Purdy is healthy. And Jimmy, if I was you, I'd have my agent get on the phone with Atlanta, with Indianapolis very fast.
No, we need to save Atlanta from Lamar Jackson. That's too
No,
perfect.
he is going to stay in Baltimore.
I need Lamar in Atlanta. That just feels right.
Tell me about your biggest storylines coming out of the weekend.
My biggest storyline is simple, and I tweeted this last night. That man threw away his marriage to get his ass beat on Wild Card Weekend on MLK Day by the Cowboys at home. Tough
Listen,
scene.
somewhere, when Dr. Martin Luther King said he had a dream, I don't even think he had a dream like this. Tom Brady's potential last final game was a straight slutting out
Dog.
from tip, pause, to finish, pause. He got it was a
Like,
slutting out. And what makes it funnier now, I'm gonna let you go was he was watching the Peyton and Eli stream, right? If he was watching the Peyton and Eli, the first 4 drives, you thought this was going to be a complete mid-off, and you could tell
yes.
Peyton and Eli thought it too.
And then, dog.
Just like that, it went up. Go ahead.
Man threw away his marriage to Giselle to get his ass beat on MLK Day. You can't write a better script. The game for me, I'm sorry. I love Doug Peterson and seeing that Chargers and no offense, my brother-in-law is a Chargers fan. I text him the first quarter, the first half, and I was like, you know what? I get to go to bed on time tonight. Thank you. And he said, LOL, I'm not gonna jinx it. That man knew the pain that was around the corner, and I ain't talked to him since. I don't know what to say. I ain't got the heart to text that man. But
Nah,
for
you got
me, that was the game of the week. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The second game of the week for me, if we had to rank them, um, that Bills game was tougher than it had to be. But seeing the way Miami was sticking around, like even Tony Romo was like, "What? What's happening
Now,
here?"
I'm glad you brought up that name. Tony Romo, you put on an all-time nasty performance in that booth. You compared Josh Allen to Michael Jordan. You called him an alien. You called him Mr. January. Tony Romo, that was, I'm not even playing, one of the nastiest one-sided callings of a football game I have ever. Listen, I've listened to Mark Jones as he's called a Virginia Tech Miami game, and he's dapping his man up in the press box as they call him some Miami plays. But that does not compare to what I heard Tony Romo saying. Allen. Yo, because it's like, all right, first couple times, yeah, Josh Allen good. Then it's like, all right, dog, it's the middle of the second quarter. You have not even mentioned the starting quarterback's name with the Miami Dolphins. I don't even think half of America knew this dude's name until like midway through the third. He's like, oh, Skylar Thompson. Hey, he's trying to put on his best Josh Allen performance. Dog, are you like, no,
Dog.
like, yo, come on. Tony Romo so badly wanted the Bills to win. It was actually like had me at some point like, nah, can the Dolphins win this game so like Tony Romo can just shut the hell up? It was nasty. That
No,
was an
Tony had
all
money on. He had money on the Bills.
like,
Tony put.
oh man. Oh man. All right, so we got some folks in the chat here. So James Henry asks, who's at fault? Chargers D or Chargers O?
And Kyle responded that he blames the Chargers offense more. Even when they scored, they had short fields set up by the defense. And in the second half, the offense basically did literally nothing. And I agree with Kyle. All the Chargers had to do was put together 2 5-minute drives in the second half, and that game would have been a wrap. That's it. All you had to do, 2 5-minute drives. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? This question takes me back to an interview I saw by Derwin James, I believe, after the game. And you could just tell. First off, this is one of the most professional interviews I've ever seen an athlete give. You could just tell he was in complete disbelief that they lost that game. He said he was just kind of like, yo, a 24-point lead, like you don't lose that. He said, and he kept saying this one sentence over and over again. I've been playing football for 20 X amount of years, and I never have felt the way I do now before. There's
Welcome to the Chargers.
he was like he was like, I'm speechless. I just don't have any words. He's like, you just shouldn't lose football games that way. I thought about it. You go back and look at that game. What Kyle's saying, very, very accurate. The defense is looking at that offense like, dog, are y'all shitting me?
You can't
Like, are
do
y'all
nothing.
shitting me?
I will say,
At some point, all y'all got to do is kick a field goal, maybe. And
that's
there's just too
it.
many, like there's just and like at certain points, if y'all kick a field goal, there's just too many points to overcome.
You just have to put 2 5-minute drives together that end in a field goal. Like that is it. That's all you got to do. That's it. And you
And
win the game.
I don't really like the blaming of Brandon Staley for a lot of this. Listen, Brandon Staley could not control Joey Bosa from throwing his helmet and getting an unsportsmanlike penalty, which ultimately led to them taking the 2-point conversion, which ultimately led for them to be in a position to kick a game-winning field goal. Because think about it, if they don't do that, if they end up just kicking the extra point instead, I think that means that would have made a 4-point game, which means they would have had to have scored a touchdown to take the lead.
Yep.
That I don't think they would have done in that final minute, because y'all would have had to just clamp up defense.
It's funny. I saw this that ETN run. Anyone who follows Benjamin Solak on,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, he talked about how they played week 3 and Doug Peterson ran at Asante Samuel Jr. and he made that business decision to not tackle not Allen Robinson. What's his name? What's the other back's name? James Robinson, right? Or whoever the bigger back is, Paul.
Yeah, James Robinson.
Yeah, like he made a decision to not do that. So they line up for the conversion. Doug sees it, calls timeout, and then the play, like ETN run at Asante Samuel Jr. and it was the same, like make Asante Samuel Jr. tackle your running back in space, and he didn't do it, and that was it. Just very interesting. Again, I love Doug Peterson because he was an Eagle. Just seeing Doug get one. Now he about to go to Kansas City and get his ass whooped potentially.
I don't even know though, because go back and
it's going to be a good game.
Go back and watch the Jags and Kansas City game. Listen, I can tell you what, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're gonna come with all the offense in the world. The Jags gonna come with the best counter to one of the prettiest offenses ever. Straight physicality. Yep. I'm just gonna punch you in the fucking chest with this. Pause.
Dog, I can't. I had a point, but I forgot it. It's going to be a really Doug Peterson versus Mentor. It's going to be a very interesting game.
I think it's going to be really good. Who do you think are okay? I think we both got the same answer for this. Is there a loser from Wild Card Weekend that you really want to call out?
I did. You can't lose a 27-point lead. I feel like that. Dog. That's an like that's the kind of thing that happens that changes the trajectory of an organization.
Oh yeah.
Other than the Chargers, because they do that.
They did because they fired their quarterbacks coach and the OC. Which, by the way, listen, consistency is key with quarterbacks. At some point, the Chargers organization is going to have to take a system, put Justin Herbert in them, put Justin Herbert and this team in it, and keep them in it for a while.
Yeah, like, and this Justin Herbert is the next him. That talk is gone. That's Trevor Lawrence is taking that spot.
I ain't gonna say that. Trevor Lawrence got about another year's worth of body they still got to do. But I would say
if you walk into Kansas City Saturday, I saw on First Things First, he has never lost on a Saturday. Trevor Lawrence has never lost on a Saturday in his entire life.
When do they play?
Saturday.
Oh no, Patty, you might be in trouble. No, because to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And listen. Anybody who can put fear in your heart with 13 seconds left, I'm a ride with him. I'm
riding with Patrick till Patrick not there.
Listen, I'm gonna call out one team in particular just because y'all's fan base was mad loud this year. Hi, Minnesota. Great year y'all had, huh? Y'all was winning all these close games despite playing like ass in most of the 3 quarters before you figure out a way to win in the 4th quarter. 11, 12 wins, all by 1 score. The games that want one score, y'all were getting thraxed in, i.e., the second Packers game, the Cowboys game, the Eagles game.
Yeah. Get them.
I just want y'all to really think about why no one believed in you
Get
coming
them.
into the game. Well, maybe it was because for the first time in NFL history, there was a 12-win team that had a negative point differential. Do
Get
you know
them.
what that means, Vikings fans? That means all in all, in the course of 17 games, your team scored less points overall than your opponents did. But your team found a way to win the games that mattered.
Get them. I'll
Y'all
say
was never
this.
the best team in that division. The whole division was bad. And now y'all got to figure out what the fuck y'all going to do because Kirk Cousins is getting up there in age slowly but surely. And no one in that quarterback's room believes in any other quarterback whose name is not Kirk Cousins. Vikings fans, welcome to hell. Join us. Join us, Green Bay Packers fans, because we're here. We're here.
NFL GMs start taking these first round picks, trade them next year to get more first round picks because Justin Jefferson is about to ask for a trade and you're going to need some ammunition to go get him. Jetta about to ask for, ain't no way. Like when he threw it short, like, dog, I don't care where Jetta is. I don't care. He made that catch in Buffalo. It's fourth and whatever. Throw it to Jetta. I don't care. Like, just throw it to him. He's the best receiver in the league. Throw it to him.
Well, we'll be waiting on him next year. But speaking of next, now we have the next round of the
Yes,
NFL playoffs.
sir. Yes, sir. So we normally get at least one or two classic matchups, but it looks like the whole slate is going to be interesting. So let's talk about the NFC on Saturday night prime time, where they should be. The New York Giants travel to Philadelphia. That'll be on NBC again, 8:15. Clear calendars, and then Sunday at 6:15, the Cowboys travel to Santa Clara to face the 49ers on the AFC side of the bracket. Saturday afternoon, I believe kickoff is at 3,
3 or 4
maybe.
probably.
Yeah, you got the Jaguars going to the Chiefs in Kansas City, and then Sunday afternoon at 2 or 3, the Bengals will be traveling to Buffalo to face the Bills. D, what is the biggest storyline going into this round? Who was on upset alert this week? I know who you're gonna say, but all right, who on upset alert this week? And what do you think will be the game of the weekend?
I'm gonna start with the game of the weekend. This rematch from a few weeks ago that's now being played in Buffalo. Oh, it's about to go down. It's about
Okay.
to go down. Let me tell y'all something. Buffalo was this close to losing to Miami. And Cincinnati was this close to losing to Baltimore. So this is the one of y'all's got to prove who's the big dog that just had an off week last week. Listen, I think Buffalo's in trouble. I'm gonna
Yes.
be honest with you. I think Buffalo's in trouble. Why nobody want to talk about how often Josh Allen turned the football over just because they don't lose?
Talk to
He,
me.
he low key a turnover machine. He the dude. He's low key a turnover machine. But before he became Josh Allen, when he was just the quarterback of the Bills, go back and look at some of them games because he was a turnover machine then
Yo,
too.
he was doing some reckless stuff.
Yo, he is responsible for maybe my favorite throw of all time in the NFL postseason. It's the throw to the full.
Was that the Texans game? Yeah. That man sky hooked the joint.
I didn't. I was yo. Anytime I watched that, I said, "Yo, this guy's came a long way from these days." Oh, so that's who I think is on upset alert. My biggest storyline going into the week. Listen, NFC East. There is a good chance that the NFC Championship will be two
Crazy.
NFC East teams.
Crazy.
Let me tell y'all, if there was a storyline I wanted to follow, it's how Roger Goodell definitely put in a call to begin this season and said, hey,
No.
this division generates our best ratings. Want to know how I know? Hey, make sure they all good this year. Watch this.
No.
he put the plate out there, and the only team who was dumb enough not to eat the food was the damn Commanders. And that was because the head coach forgot how many games there was in the season and didn't calculate the probability to make the playoffs. Anyway, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I am praying for an all NFC East NFC championship game.
Okay.
Not because I think Kyle Shanahan is a fraud, and I don't think the 49ers are like that. That's only partially the reason. You want to see pure hatred and real shit talking? You put division rivals in a game where the winner goes to the Super Bowl.
Let me tell you something. If it's Dallas, Philadelphia for a chance, I'm going to that game. I'm jumping in the whip. We going to the link, and we fighting somebody. Not literally, but we going to the game.
If I had to ask who's going to be on upset alert, both number 1 seeds.
Okay.
Because I don't think both of y'all making. I don't think both number 1 seeds making the Super Bowl.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. It's been a long time since both the ones have made it to the Super Bowl. I think the last 2 ones were the Eagles, Patriots, 2017. And last 2 ones.
Danny, you my man, 100 grand, 10 toes down.
It's okay.
Chiefs not playing a divisional opponent for the 3rd time this year. One that they have embarrassed twice.
Hey, San Francisco did it last week with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I get you. I hear you.
There's a reason why one was the 6th seed and one was the 7th seed by a margin.
That's true. I will say about your Roger Goodell making the call, these playoffs are unfolding in a way that's just a beautiful story for the Cowboys, right? You beat Tom Brady. You never beated him. You beat Tom Brady. You go to San Francisco. You beat the team that beat you last year in the playoffs. Then, if the Eagles win, God willing, you get to play the Eagles fully healthy. Now you're fully healthy. Now we get to see who the real one is. And then you play Patrick Mahomes. All right, like it's the scene.
I think that's the route that most Cowboys fans think they're taking. Let me tell you about the alternate route of that.
Okay.
So you beat Tom Brady, team that you ain't never a person you ain't never beat before. So you beat him. You go to Santa Clara. You win a game that you probably should lose. Won't surprise me if this game is 7-10 or 17-10. Like, it would not surprise me if this game is a complete mid-off. Then you find out that you're going to be hosting the New York Giants the next week.
Okay.
Oh, brother. Oh, they're salivating at the chops. Because you know that if you play the Giants in the NFC Championship game, the Giants will be coming off an emotional high because they essentially played their Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Now, I think the route that you just said is a little bit more likely. If I had to be a betting man, I'm betting on the route that you just said. My route, if it ends up my route, we will be seeing the Dallas Cowboys represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
God, please no. Anything but. Jesus. For me, biggest storyline, it's the Cowboys Niners. I think the Cowboys are bottom half of the league at stopping the run, and the Niners are really good at running the football. I think the way you neutralize Micah Parsons is you run right at him, exhaust him that way. Nothing like Trent Williams pulling around the corner, taking Micah Parsons and throwing him into the stands a couple times to get him double thinking about just shooting the gaps when he sees it. I don't know though, man. I have a feeling the Cowboys are going to win that game. I don't know what it is. Maybe, and again, last night they played the Bucs. The Bucs are not a good team. Dak usually he wheeling and dealing against teams that are bad, and then he faces a real team, and then he wets himself. But I don't know, man. Like I can see the 49ers winning 35-20, and then I can see Dallas winning 24-21.
So I think in a matchup like this, I think it usually comes down to quarterback play. Yo, I hear what everyone's saying about 49ers and all these weapons they have, and the Kyle Shanahan, whatever you want to say about Kyle, whatever. Damn. Remember what you said about that first half of that Seahawks-Niners game?
Yes.
It was interesting. You know why? Because the Seahawks were playing sound defense. And they were trying to make Brock Purdy beat him. He was struggling. Second half, somebody in that locker room tapped Brock Purdy on the shoulders and said, "Hey, dog, throw it to Debo or throw it to George Kittle.
That's it.
Off. Don't do anything else." Or Brandon Ayuk, he was their leading receiver.
Yeah.
So, but in a matchup like this, when the other team has just as dominant of a defense that you have, and they can get after the passer, oh yeah.
Yeah, like for me, if the Niners are up 2 scores, it's a wrap. Like if Nick Bosa can just pin his ears back and go get Dak, dog, the Cowboys don't have the offensive line to do that. Like the offensive line is good.
Yo, but if I'm the Cowboys though, and respectfully speaking, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm putting. I guess it's probably how they beat them last year. They probably tried to press up on Debo and Brandon Ayuk to try to stop the run, and they had problems.
Dog, let me tell you something. Brandon Ayuk is a really good like we see Devontae Smith give Trayvon Diggs fits. Brandon, same mold. Like the double move, like I think Brandon Ayuk would eat Trayvon alive. And if you're gonna put Debo on Diggs, then Debo just will throw him because Trayvon doesn't. He's another Asante Samuel Jr. Trayvon Diggs is not like to tackle. He gonna make a business decision. Put Debo over there. Yo,
Most
throw
of
that man off you.
Don't like to tackle, but they got some good players.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Dallas, San Francisco is going to be a good game. I'm with you. Is that who you think is going to be the game of the week though?
I do. I think that's the game of the week. For me, upset alert. I'm with you, Buffalo. Dog, Joe Burrow is a different beast, and that offense wasn't even good last week, and they threw up 35 points.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, 7 was from the fumble recovery,
Mm-hmm.
but dog, like we haven't seen Joe and Jamar or any of his receivers like really click. Buffalo's defense is nice, but dog, Joe Burrow is a different animal. Like I would take Joe Burrow over Josh Allen.
I mean, I think, I think when you look at the offense that Joe Burrow's in, I mean, it's very, very quarterback friendly. You put him around these 2 incredible wide receivers, obviously with Hayden Hurst, Tyler Boyd, and you got someone like Joe Mixon coming up the backfield. It's different, right? I think with Buffalo, they really rely on Josh Allen, essentially like their best running back, and obviously their quarterback. So I think there's more versatility in the Bengals offense. So I definitely can see why you can go that route. I think. Listen, 17 in Buffalo though, he nice with it. He is. He's got to get some of these. He's got a turnover bug that I don't know. It's like Brett Favre.
Yeah.
I'm saying like Brett Favre, he just had this turnover bug about him that just like you just can't shake. He's really good. And then you got someone like Aaron Rodgers comes along who's just really, really good and just doesn't turn the football over.
Yeah, when we start talking about Aaron Rodgers, where he come from?
I don't know, just because we were talking about Brett Favre.
Oh, okay. I enjoy when you're able to sneak in Aaron Rodgers.
So you have, I'm assuming you have Eagles Dallas and Chiefs Bengals in the championship games.
I have Eagles Niners. I think the Niners are so good at running the football, and Dallas's Achilles heel is stopping the run. Like I think Kyle runs right at Michael Parsons for 4 quarters. I know Leighton Vander Esch is back. He's going to be busy with George Kittle. They're down 2 starting corners, I think. They're in the 3rd corner. Okay, so Ayuk or Debo. Like I said, I can see Dallas. If Dallas won, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm picking the Niners. I just think that defense, like the 49ers can put together an 8-minute drive to bleed the clock out if it's like a 1-possession game. I just trust Kyle Shanahan as a coach more than I trust Mike McCarthy as a coach if the game is on the line. So I'm going to pick the 49ers. And then, I'm picking the Bengals. Joe Burrow, man.
Yeah, I think for me, I got to go with the team with the better quarterback. I hear all this talk about weapons and whatever they got over in San Francisco, but nah, I ain't buying.
Okay, that's fair.
Listen,
but
I think what I think personally is going to happen is Dallas is going to get 1 or 2 early turnovers, like bonehead turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to score off of them, and they're going to go up like 10-0 or 13-0. And I think if you ask Brock Purdy to lead, like to come back, I think that's too much pressure on the young man.
I think that's a good point.
I got Eagles. I got Dallas.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. Excuse me. I'm gonna say this. Y'all better call Boston Scott and tell him we need the game of your life.
Oh, the
He is the
Giant killer.
Giants killer.
Go to FanDuel, everyone. Over under, take Boston Scott, anytime score. Just do it.
They gonna
Boston
make sure.
Scott.
For some reason,
Anytime
like
score.
every time I've seen the Eagles and Giants play like the last 2 or 3 years, Boston Scott gets busy.
He's gotten over half of his career touchdowns against the Giants. Just take
Yeah,
the anytime Boston Scott touchdown score.
Honestly, I got Chiefs and Bengals too. I'll say this: I came into the postseason saying there's no need for this game down in Atlanta. I don't think the Chiefs and the Bills are going to end up playing each other.
Yeah.
I just listen. I don't know who's going to lose this weekend. The Kansas City and Buffalo. One of the two is losing.
Let's see. Let's see what the weather's going to be in Buffalo. Let's see. Saturday.
I don't think that matters because they play in Ohio.
No, Bills are the 2 seed. They're going.
No, I'm saying the Bengals play in the cold. So you know what I'm saying? They're not Dolphins.
That's true. That's true. I just want to see. See Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, cloudy. It's going to be 32 degrees. Yeah.
Telling you. Kyle has both conferences championship games being the 1 and 2 seeds, Chiefs and Bills, Eagles and Niners.
I'll take it. I would love to see the Niners. I'd love to see how the Eagles stack up. And the Bills play on Sunday, and it's going to be 33 and snowing in Buffalo. But
honestly, Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Niners doesn't really have the same appeal. Roger, I'm with you, dog. I wouldn't want to see that shit either. Listen, Chiefs, Bills might be something, but I don't think the Bills go into Kansas City and thump them. Like I don't think the Bills go in. Listen, everyone's thinking that's going to be the same game it was last year. No. Matter of fact, I think it'd be the complete opposite. I think if the Bills and the Chiefs play again, it's going to be a thumping. Like thumping.
Okay. Oh, you think the Chiefs just will throttle them?
Yes. They just going to put this to bed. Like this is not happening again.
I think the same for the Bengals too, because Joe's been the only one.
Bengals really stack up well against the Chiefs.
They do.
Well. And that's why I think Roger going to put in the call. Like, hey, man.
I really wish Von Miller was healthy, because if he was healthy, I think Von Miller would feast against the Bengals. But he's not healthy, so I'm picking the Bengals.
I think these Buffalo corners are going to struggle with the wide receivers.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no backfield that can handle Chase, Higgins, Boyd with Mixon. Like, I don't think the 49ers have an answer for it, and that's the thing. That's why you got to get home with your front four.
That is why I am going Eagles, Dallas, Bengals, Chiefs.
Okay. I would be very interested in that weekend.
Buffalo, I want to let y'all know, I personally don't think y'all have left the 90s when it comes to the postseason. So,
oof.
Big WNBA trade.
Yeah.
I know this is your bag. I also know Maya Moore retired. So tell me about this big trade, because I've been reading up about some of the players, but I don't really understand a lot of the significance. I feel like you can really tell me, maybe give me some comparisons and maybe what this trade is like. But I am going to say one thing on Maya Moore retiring. First off, congratulations on a true Hall of Fame career. Really hope you enjoy your retirement. My next statement, fellas, next time she says, don't worry about the other guy because you're just helping him with personal stuff, remember this. She said she was telling her man she just helping him with some personal matters. I read up in this case, helping him with some personal matters. Next thing you know, they got books. She didn't retired. She didn't stop playing basketball, divorced her husband. Listen, all I'm gonna say is, had it been me, my brother, listen, had it been me, my man would have been potentially on trial for a whole new one. Yeah, y'all go though. What's going on in this WNBA? Listen, you ain't gonna take my woman, my livelihood from the pen and think you about to come out to freedom. Now we about to put you right back in the situation to go right back. Are you kidding me? Yeah,
you putting a little of that white powder on the shoes and calling the parole officer?
Dog, listen. Listen, you gonna have to call me YSL the way I get up in that stand and snitch. Officer, I saw him with 3 kilos, and it won't baking soda, officer. Officer, man,
That's
you kidding
fair.
me? You right back up the fucking room.
I will keep this quick for those of you who do follow WNBA. You know how big of an offseason this is. There are a lot of free agent big names. Candace Parker, I believe Brianna Stewart, Brittany Griner is a free agent. But the big trade D is referencing is Jonquel Jones from the Connecticut Sun, who won WNBA MVP a couple years ago. She is going to New York. To the Liberty. We're not going to get into the details of what was traded. It was a 3-team trade. All you need to know is Jonquel Jones is going to New York. That is exciting because Sabrina Ionescu is in New York. For those who don't know who Sabrina is a Kobe mentee. She was really close to the Bryant family. Yeah, think of Steph Curry. Like that's how she plays. She's an elite 3-point shooter. Jonquel Jones, think of she models her game kind of like after Kevin Durant and like Dirk Nowitzki. Like she's a stretch forward, she can post up and she can hit turnaround J's. So now you have an offense that has someone who can clog up the middle, or you have an offense where Jonquel can bring the ball up the court. She can initiate the offense. Sabrina can go into the corner and Jonquel can create something, kick to Sabrina, or you can have Sabrina initiate the offense. They can run a high pick and roll. Jonquel can pop. Jonquel can go post up. Jonquel can, you can set some pin screens, some down screens, so Sabrina get open. Kind of a very Warriors-esque offense. Think of Jonquel as like a hybrid between. I don't want to say Draymond because Draymond really doesn't score. Jonquel is just an elite scorer. She won WNBA MVP 2 years ago, right? So I don't think this is enough to beat Vegas, but the Connecticut Sun have always. Shout out Asia Wilson, best basketball player on the planet, not named Jewel Lloyd. I think for the history of the Sun is the Connecticut Sun. They've always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. They always make it to the WNBA finals. They always make deep runs, but they can never get over the hump. The Connecticut's Sun coach, he is now the coach in LA. The Connecticut Sun are starting to blow this thing up. They're going to start a rebuild. So Jonquel is in New York. Again, I don't think they have enough, but free agency is here, and I think New York could go get pieces that can compare to Vegas, because the thing about Vegas is they have 3 people that can get you 30 any given night, and no other WNBA team can say that they have 3 people that can get you 30. So they're one step closer. I'm really excited to see how this Sabrina and Jonquel offense works. Again, think 2011 Mavericks, think 2006 Mavs, think of high pick and rolls. Think of a lot of back screens for Sabrina to spring free to the corner, a lot of threes. Again, Jonquel is going to demand a lot of attention. So it's going to be fun in New York. I just don't know if they have the firepower to hang with Vegas, because Vegas is the ball.
High-powered offense, man. They just got too many ballers over in Vegas.
They got too many ballers in Vegas.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see, where this kind of puts New York in the overall standings. How they start matching up with some of the other top teams, and maybe with this trade, able to make a bit of a run this season. Hopefully, they didn't give up too much. All right. Did you hear about Kliff Kingsbury and his one-way plane ticket to Thailand? Right. Also, on the flip side of that, because essentially we're talking about head coaches and their ways of going into the off season when they're potentially being pursued by coaches. So you got Kliff Kingsbury with the one-way ticket to Thailand. On the flip side, you got Sean Payton, he's just going on a little free agency tour. He wants to be wined and dined by everybody. He misses the game. Everyone, he's got he told his agent to put his name out in the press, get my name hot again. I'm him. Put the note out like Jordan. I'm him. I'm back. Who do you think is handling the return to coaching, or the return to the next coaching gig better?
So let's be very clear. Kliff Kingsbury already has his next role, and that's going to be some sort of offensive capacity at USC. I don't think he's going back to the NFL. I think he's going to be at I don't know why. Like, I just feel like USC just fits. He's over in Thailand spending that money on all the women. He ain't coming back for a minute. He got some time. Sean Payton, I think
no. What is he going to Thailand and buying his money on?
You don't buy a one-way ticket to Thailand for the food.
maybe.
I mean, the food is good.
Now he wants some chicken pad thai. He going for that chicken pad thai. You
Yeah, is that what they call it in the street? Listen, man.
Nah,
Listen.
he getting some chicken pad thai with a side of some ass, is what you
Yeah,
saying.
he getting chicken ass tie. That's what he here for. And I'm not mad at him. Yo, that's going to be the social post. Chicken ass tie.
Not Kliff. Nah. Listen, I haven't watched the last episode of Hard Knocks ever since I found out Kliff Kingsbury got fired. Because I feel like it's gonna be hard for me to get through that episode.
Let
Because
me
I'm gonna be like,
see. Let me
my
see
man
if
really got
Kliff
fired.
Kingsbury is in a relationship right now before I speak ill on that man. But you don't buy a one-way ticket to Thailand by
I got him a
yourself.
little nice little man. Listen, while you look that up, I personally think Kliff Kingsbury is handling this like a true old-fashioned G. This is what you're supposed
Yes.
to do, Kliff. When you get dumped, you never be like Sean Payton and be out here in these streets all over the socials. You're supposed to build. You're supposed to get low and build, yo. You're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? When your lady leave you the way she left you, you're supposed to get low. You're supposed to build. And next time they see you, you're really supposed to come out like brand new. Like you supposed to come out with a new hairstyle, maybe a new tattoo or something. Maybe you got to come back with the nose ring. Maybe you got to come back with a few more dollars in your pocket so she know that you've been out here really grinding. Like Kliff, I'm fully expecting that the next time I see you, when you're with Nick Saban and you're his offensive coordinator helping the Alabama Crimson Tide really wash any thought of Georgia being the most dominant force in college football, any thought of that away. Kliff, a year from now, you're going to be thinking back to your time in Thailand when you was out there getting your chicken pad thai or maybe a little chicken ass thai, depending on who you ask in this podcast. You're going to think back to your time in Thailand and think that was the changing moment in my life where I decided I wanted to win. And so I followed Coach Saban. He taught me how to become a winner, how to build a program, how to be a winner. And in a few years, when Chip Kelly returns to the NFL and UCLA
Never.
is right there, open, I see you, Kliff.
Never. Kliff, dog. No, Chip ain't never coming back.
Nah, why
Bambi
you
need
can't come back?
dog. Chip was at Philadelphia. Where did he go after Philly? There was a stop before San Francisco. It was Philly, and then he was somewhere else, and then he ended up in San Francisco. And all
Wait, he was the
three.
head coach of the San Francisco 49ers?
Yes, exactly.
I
I
do.
mean,
I don't even remember this. They had to have fired him same year. Same year.
let me see. Let me make
Nah,
sure. Yeah.
nah.
Okay. It was So he was with the Eagles 2013 to 2015, and then he was the 49ers in 2016. It was a 1 year thing. So yeah, dog. He ain't coming back. And Bam beat me to it. Kliff does have a girlfriend who is a supermodel who is in Thailand with him. So he is getting chicken ass tie, but he's not paying for it.
Yo, Chip Kelly was really the head coach of the San Francisco
He
49ers.
was.
Now, why they didn't keep him?
Oh God. That's the
Now they
best
should have
thing that
kept him.
dog.
Oh, they fired him after Jim Tom Sula.
That
Oh.
49ers franchise was in the gutter.
Oh yeah, I remember this. They went on a 13-game losing streak. Now
Mm-hmm.
I remember this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. This might have been the season. I don't know. Wow, okay.
Kyle with the bar of the show. Clearly the NFL coach. He's talking about Kliff Kingsbury went to Thailand because he's tired of chasing wins and losses. Kyle, you win quote of the night.
Ooh, when your mixtape coming out, Kyle?
Quote of that is 20. That is like 2009 Wayne right there.
Yeah, nah, don't look at his other bar too. He said Chip Kelly was the guy who benched Kaepernick for Blaine Gabbert. Hey, now this is all I'm gonna say, Kyle. And some folks out here ain't gonna like it, but out of them two players you just mentioned, one is still in the league.
So D, talk to me about Ja Morant's dunk.
Listen, when I found out who Tom Brady's backup was, I said, no way Blaine Gabbert is the lone member of that draft class still up
standing.
and running.
But you know why he is? He accepted his role as a backup early. Blaine said, "I'll make this backup money. Backup Tom Brady, say less. Tom don't
Easy.
miss
Like
games
dog, I won't take a snap in the regular season. Are you kidding me?
ever. Are you kidding me?"
Also, listen, in my opinion, in the NFL, longevity, longevity, because longevity allows you to make more money.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Andy Dalton was also in that draft class. He about to be a backup.
Yeah, he about to be a back. Well, he was a backup. This was a year to prove it. Now he's a
Welcome to
gone.
Philadelphia.
All right, John Morant's dunk. So a couple of days ago, people, I don't know if y'all saw, but John Morant levitated into the air and posterized a man. Could have been on trial for murder because that's how nasty that dunk was.
He is in
So
Memphis.
now I'm starting to really wonder: is he approaching the point in his career where you got to call it a business decision?
Yes. Here's Ja. He is not as good of a dunker as Vince Carter, but he's entering the realm of do not jump with him. Like Vince Carter. Like you didn't jump with Vince. Ja has consistently put dudes on posters. Do not jump with Ja. Like, yeah, make a business decision. Hey, he getting that highlight dunk. He not getting it on me.
Not
It's
getting it
2
on me.
points. We'll recap later.
Yeah. Little 2 points, little recap later. If coach don't like it, I'm gonna ask him if he want to try jumping with John Morant next time he go up in the air. All right, staying in the NBA.
Yep.
So there's been mad complaints across the league about an NBA officiating this year.
Yep.
Usually it's not something until a big name says something about it. Of course, what other big name in the NBA than LeBron James, who essentially put out a little cryptic quote. Essentially, he's saying, "Nah, this refereeing, it's got to get better because some of this is ridiculous. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go out here and keep playing hard for my guys, but these some of these calls are costing us some games. Which I think if you've watched Los Angeles Lakers basketball games, you know the Achilles heel for this basketball team is the second half, literally. You kind of would wish that NBA games would only be 24 minutes because the Lakers might have 30 wins already. But it don't work like that. And some of these like LeBron, like I know LeBron's LeBron, but that doesn't mean LeBron being LeBron means LeBron shouldn't get calls just because he's LeBron. Like sometimes he's like clearly visibly fouled and he don't get the calls. Now other times, like the Mavs game, was that Saturday night? I'm just sitting Friday, Saturday night. I'm just sitting there, just shaking my head because what the fuck is going on? Why are we getting? And then we get to the last seconds of the game, and my guy just dribbles it off his leg, and that's how we lose the game. Like you know what I'm saying? But part of me wants to say, why was this even a game to begin with?
Yeah, the Mavericks let them back in. It's very embarrassing. The officiating question. I mean, what else is new? Every year we have a topic about a conversation about officiating.
But like
It is
some of
what it,
these calls are like bad. It's like shocking, like how bad some of these calls are. And now y'all have a replay system. So like, should it really still be this bad?
listen, I will say this: that there needs to be something in place that holds refs accountable. I think in the EuroLeague, like if a ref misses a call in a big spot, like they get suspended. Like, I don't know if you go that far if you're the NBA, but I think for one, I think refs don't do post game. They don't do press conferences, but press can go and ask referees questions for clarification. I think we need to have that on tape, and I think there needs to be some sort of accountability system. Like, if a ref misses 5 calls over the course of 15 games or 20 games or something that's egregious, like maybe there's some sort of suspension, some sort of fine. That like there needs to be some sort of accountability for these officials. Same with the NFL. I know Joey Bosa kind of talked about it, and I agree with Bosa to a point. That tackle kept jumping off sides, and you could see it with your naked eye in the game. And I know, like, so you can say it in many leagues. It's just there needs to be something that holds referees accountable for bad calls. So they
So
think,
Joey Bosa's point was that the tackle kept missing so many off start. I mean, the officials kept missing so many false starts by the tackle over the course of the game.
yeah, and he's right. Like you could see it with your, to the naked eyes. Like, man, he's getting a hop early, and he's false starting. I mean, and now I know we're talking about basketball, but back to basketball. I mean, there's always going to be some sort of human error as long as humans are in charge of enforcing the rules in all walks of life, no matter what. As long as there are humans enforcing rules, there's going to be error. It's just the types of errors when the error occurs and the consequences of that error.
When the error occurs is so important because sometimes it's that timing. Listen, if you're gonna make a bad call, make a bad call. Well, really, never make a bad call. But if you're gonna
Yeah.
miss a call, don't miss a call in a game where like championships on like
Or,
championships are at play.
or if you're the NBA, I know it's going to mess up the flow of the game, but everything is reviewable after with 3 minutes left in the second and in the fourth. Like anything, I know some things can't be reviewed. Anything can be reviewed. Fouls, travels, and again, I know that would mess up the flow of the game because coaches would be asking for stuff all the time. Like there's a way to discretion this,
Mhm.
but there's got to be you got to get it right. I'd rather have you stop the game for 2 minutes to see if LeBron was fouled on a drive, then miss the call. The team goes down. The Mavs go down and Luka hits a back-breaking three when LeBron should be at the line shooting two. Like I would rather have that than messing up the flow of the game in order. Like I wanted to get it right.
I will say I have liked sort of these some of these coaches challenges. The wording is an unsuccessful challenge, but really when you hear the ref explain it, it's exactly what the coach had wanted to happen. They just didn't win the technical part of it. Like
Yeah,
sometimes it's like they'll go back and like a coach will challenge a foul and it'll still come back, but that the foul will be a foul, but instead of it being shooting foul, now it's just a foul on the floor. Take the ball
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. He was fouled before he was shooting. Yeah,
Like I do like that. Like I think that is what like that's the type of progression that we should be making where we go back and be able to fix things that are quote unquote broken but fixed. But to your point, some of this is human error, and we can't keep doing this. Like some of it, like some you can't make bad calls in big championship situations. But I guess to the players, what's a real championship? What is deemable a championship situation? A player can technically say that regular season game that you said don't mean something could ultimately be the deciding factor between making or not making the playoffs.
yeah, and I think the NBA. I don't know if the NBA defines crunch time as, but I know a lot of stats define crunch time. I believe as the last. It's either 3 or 5 minutes. So yeah, in crunch time, I think there should be something. I don't know how you would do this. A signal, maybe something on the ref's hip that vibrates when they need to review something like from New York, like, hey, review that. That needs to be reviewed and do it that way. I don't there's a way to figure this out. I don't get paid enough money to think about it, but there's got to
But
be a way.
with all this, our guy Chad Unstoppable wants us to know that when it comes to LeBron, he flops like a trout.
The streets hate LeBron so much, and I don't understand.
It's okay because in about a month he's going to be the NBA's all-time leading scorer, and at that point, I'm really going to just want to know what are the arguments for Jordan at this point.
Oh, it's going to be he's undefeated in the finals. That will always be the argument. Jordan is 6-0 in the finals. LeBron is what, four? And how many? LeBron was in the finals like 10 years. What's LeBron's finals record? He has four.
Like
He went one in Cleveland, two in
four and
Miami,
six.
one in LA. He's like 4-6, right? Something like that.
Yeah, 4 and 6.
Yeah.
Listen, I would
And
listen. Okay, I would say, and this is the only thing I'm gonna say about Mike MJ. What's Michael's best finals win?
game 5, Utah.
No. You're not getting what I'm saying. Let me ask it a different way. Who is the best opponent or team
Oh,
Michael beat to win a championship?
the Jazz.
Which
He
year?
beat the Suns. He beat the Jazz twice in a row. Um, what are the other
Would you
teams he
say the
beat?
first Jazz team or the second Jazz team was better? Where do you think?
I mean, they're pretty much the same, weren't they?
Okay, cool. A lot of people would say LeBron's best ring was against the 73 and
Yes.
9 Warriors, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now in my opinion, yeah, you're undefeated. You're 6-0, but your teams were the teams.
You were supposed to
So
go. I
you
got
were
you.
supposed you were supposed to. How many of Bron's teams were the teams? Yet the I would say we all know the 2011 Mavericks.
Yep.
Actually, no. Every year he was in Miami. Then was probably the only years where I would say, now you had the team, so really you should win, which is
Yep.
why he's got most of his championships in Miami. The one in Cleveland, he was not supposed to win.
No.
The one in LA, technically they were one of the better teams, but the season hadn't ended yet. But most people knew that year the Lakers were
They
the
were the
best.
best team.
They were the best team. But that Lakers team compared to Mike's best team with the Bulls, I don't think that's comparable. So listen, that's just my thoughts. I would say, yeah, he's undefeated, but LeBron's got the better finals win. Like you was dominating everyone, dog. Like everyone knew what time it was when you know what I'm saying. Once you beat the Pistons in your conference, everyone knew what time it was.
I think the GOAT is still Kareem. To me.
No, it can't be. He can't be. He getting him out of here. Plus, Bron.
No.
Plus, I don't like that shit he was saying about LeBron. Get Kareem out.
We're talking about on the court. Kareem has more rings than Bron. Kareem has more rings, more finals appearances. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer.
At the
I
moment.
think he only hit 1 3-pointer. That is so impressive.
Okay.
And
Nah,
he's going to be the second time all NBA scorer. 1 3-pointer.
you're right. But the one thing about Kareem, he ain't do it as saucy as Bron did.
Okay. Kareem lost 2 games in college. I believe it was only 2. Hold on. Now, hold on. We got to put some respect on Kareem.
Now, I'm respecting Kareem. I'm just saying, I think LeBron just got the better final run. All right, to end this thing before we get out of here, Danny, I know I mentioned this top 27 albums of 2022. So, people, about 4 or 5 years ago, someone just asked me if I could put together a list of my favorite 25 albums of the year because they saw that I like to post a lot of music on my socials. So I said, hey, instead of 25, I'm gonna give you 2 extra. I'm gonna come back with 27. And
Okay.
every year since I cannot talk today, every year since I essentially put together a top 27, like a list of my favorite top 27 albums of the year. Favorite 27 albums of the year. So last year, 2022, I finally put together my list, finally finished it over the weekend. And I know a few weeks ago, you guys heard me talk about my Apple Music replay where they told me my most played song, which was Diet Coke from Pusha T's It's Almost Dry album. Well, I will say that that is about the only thing that Apple Replay got right. I do have Almost Dry as a co-album of the year with King's Disease 3. Those are my 2 favorites.
Okay.
I was on some real rap shit. But I'll say after, like, when I finished the list and I was looking at it, it's a lot of R&B in here. And it's like high I got R&B. My second favorite album was 004 Daisy by this dude named Dixon. I love that album. It's mad R&B. He was singing about Shorty too. All right, I'm gonna do my top 3. The number 3, Honestly Nevermind by Drake. I thought, yo, that shit was cranking. I don't care what nobody say. That shit was cranking. You outside, a couple of drinks in hand, got the 2-step going. What? No skips. No skips.
Can I make a confession?
Go ahead.
I listened to that album for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, because I'm not a 21 Savage fan, I don't get it. And then I heard that album, and I was like, okay.
Her loss is 21 and Drake.
Okay, my bad. Okay.
Earlier in the year, he dropped Honestly Nevermind. That was like the dance album that everyone was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you.
Listen, I know maybe dance ain't everyone. Listen, that John album nice. Album is nice. A few notables. Number 4 was, I don't know if you heard, Babyface. He's got an album. He dropped an album last year, Girls Night Out. Thought it was real fly. It's a real conceptual album. All the features are women. It's a really good album. Ramona Park, Broke My Heart. I don't know if you listen to Vince Staples. That was in my top 10. Miss Morale and the Big Steppers. That was in my top 10.
Okay.
Let's see. I do have Beyonce in here. She's at Jordan's number. I'm not gonna say the number because I feel like if I say the number, people going I'm gonna have some.
Well, if it's a 27, if it's a top 27 list, I think we can figure out what number it was.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think of that. At 21, 21, 21, I actually have SZA's album. So if you're gonna argue
Okay.
with me that Beyonce's album is better than SZA's album, leave it in the comments what you think. Um, let's see. Burner Boy. I loved his album too, by the way. I got love Diminy at 14.
Do you have any Bad Bunny on there? It's
Listen,
okay if you don't. I don't listen to anything.
I,
So
I like I like a few of the Bad Bunny songs. I like mad Bad Bunny songs, but I only hear him in the hookah spots on Latin nights. And I love that for me because I don't know what my man is saying.
that's
I'm
fair.
bad at Spanish.
Let
But
me ask you
the ones the songs I do like I do have. So
let me ask you a question about Bad Bunny. And this is more so about the work he's done with Adidas. Have you seen his collabs with Adidas? Like his
yeah,
shoes?
feel
Hey,
yeah.
what do you think? I know you're a little biased, but
I think listen, I'm all for I love them because you know what? There's a there's a designer and a creative and a team that came together to prove this. And hey, if that's what they want to push into the world with Bad Bunny's name like this and image, I'm all for it. Let's do it, baby.
really? Because I think them shits are ugly.
Hey man, one thing that I have learned about working in retail is that fashion has a different definition for everyone.
Like the only thing Adidas has gotten right over like the past 5 years outside of Yeezy is the Ivy Park collab. Like I saw the shoes they did with Beyonce, and I was like, okay, like I can get behind those, but stop giving Adidas like the Black Panther collab. Those are the ugliest shits I've ever seen. Those are the shoes your grandmother buys and gives you as a gift. Those are so hideous.
Gosh, them shits. Come on now. Why you hating on the? Come on. Why you hating on the Black Panther? Yo, that speaking of Black Panther, I'm ready to be honest about some aspects of that movie when the rest of the world is.
Okay, it's been out long enough. Let's talk about it.
No one else thought they was trying to put the blacks versus the browns.
Oh, you going real conspiracy J. Edgar Hoover stuff.
Y'all didn't like y'all didn't see like how they was yo fam. There was a portion where she was falling in love with this little Hispanic dude, with this Latino dude, just because he got some wings on the feet and he being nice.
Hey, dog, when everyone around you has been murdered, it's nice when someone says, "Hey, I don't want to kill you." I get it.
And how do they call this? Why call it Black Panther? This is more Jesus Panther.
Okay. All right. Oh, we were doing great. We were really. It's the
Let
tonight the show
people
started.
know where we are from. Follow us.
We were doing great. You can
Nah,
find it.
come on, man. Oh, oh,
Hey, all I know is
oh man.
Quantumania is gonna set the world on fire. Kang is on the way.
Listen,
Dog, black people are gonna be standing up cheering for Kang. Like if he killed Ant-Man, the black people are gonna stand up and clap. Like, yeah, for
nah,
no reason.
he ain't even got to kill him. Listen, if you watch the trailer, then you saw that work Ant Man was getting in part of
Dog.
the trailer. He was catching. Listen, Ant
He was
Man. If you're about to spend the next 3 hours getting your ass kicked, then I will buy my tickets tomorrow.
today.
Like
They went on sale today, I believe.
what they did. Oh, I'll be
Yeah, I
there.
know I got emails like, oh, buy your Quantumania tickets.
Oh, yeah, I'll be
Last thing
there.
before we go, if you're on your computer, do yourself a favor and Google Black Panther Adidas Patrick Mahomes and get a look at the ugliest shoes you have ever seen in your life. D, I'll give why you look it up. While you do that, I'm gonna tell people where to find us. You can find us on Speak On It _pod. That is on Instagram and Twitter. Do not forget to send us your questions. Speakonitpod14@gmail.com. Again, send us your questions. Speakonitpod14@gmail.com. We'll answer your questions here on the show. D, you're looking at those ugly ass shoes. Like, what
Okay.
athlete, what athlete would sign with Adidas? Like, if Adidas came to me, I'm like, dog, y'all got to get out of my face.
Okay. I guess my question.
Mm-hmm. Like, stick to the shell toe.
I guess my question is, where would one wear these shoes?
Exactly. How would you wear these with a fit? How would you wear jeans with that? How would you wear shorts with that? How would they stack? Like, there's no place for the jean to go. Like, the tongue is so tall. Pause. Like, would you hide your jeans in there? Like, you'd have to wear joggers. That's it.
Uh, Shout out to Adidas. Shout out to Patty Mahomes, man. That's all I can say.
But for real, last thing, and then we're out of here. Name the last basketball shoe they made that you were like, oh, those are fire. The only one I can think of are the Harden ones, like their first release of Harden shoes.
The Damian Lillard bake collabs.
No, there has never been a Damian Lillard shoe that I thought was nice. Let me look this up.
The Damian Lillard babe collab was nice. I ain't gonna let you do that to my man Dame. Not enough on Dame. Not too much on Dame. Not too much on my man Dame. You know I'm gonna hold it down for Portland. Come on.
Oh,
now.
okay, okay. I've never seen these before. These are kind of cool. Okay,
I told you.
that's
Speaking
the
of,
only
I
one.
went to a Blazers game recently. Listen, shout out to Blazer Nation. I was wrong. That it's a fun little listen. You understand smaller market teams like that. I respect it. Their games be fun. Games be fun.
Okay,
I'll
these are
also
dope.
say I'm going to add Markelle Fultz to my list of people that when you see play basketball, you immediately just rescind all slander. I will never say anything bad about Markelle Fultz playing basketball again. I saw it up close and personal. He nice.
So I'm rooting for Markel.
He is no. Watch some Magic games. They're not winning games. Watch some Magic games. They don't be playing. They be playing nice.
Good for them.
People, make sure you follow the kid, the boy at Los D Mix. It's at LOSDEEMIX on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch. I was just talking to Danny before that, giving him kind of my updated plan for my return to Twitch. So it's coming soon, people. And when you see me back on Twitch, you know the content is coming soon. Make sure you guys follow the pod, speak on _pod. Make sure you send us your questions at speakonit14@gmail.com. We got a good one last week. Danny, I'm really, really excited for the year, man. Really, really excited. Research. Kyle, thank you for pulling up. Chat Unstoppable, thank you for pulling up. Bam, thank you for pulling up. And anyone else who's here, maybe not saying anything, thank you for pulling up. And if you're still listening, damn, you 90 minutes in. You a real one. So thank you. Make sure you guys are following, subscribing, downloading the episodes if you're streaming them. Danny,
And let us know what you think.
Yeah, obviously, of course, always let us know where you think. Danny, because people played with this album, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and play a song off this. Honestly, never mind, because I just don't think the folks is out here listening. It's another thing I'm gonna say. If anyone else drops this album, like if you was to take Drake out and insert X name, they would say this is one of them albums. Go back, like read the boy was talking on. He nice with me. This shit was. Come on, listen. All I'm saying is, come on. Hey,
and that's it for us. See
See
y'all next week.
Hey,
Peace.